Please turn to the first side of the scriptures. Thus I have heard. At one time, the Buddha was in the Trayastrimsa heaven speaking Dharma for his mother. In this passage, we talk about at one time, and the meaning of one time must be supplemented a little bit. There are two ways of talking about time in Buddhism. One is about instantaneous moments, and the Buddha said that this is real time, which means reality. That is to say, the truth of time. Another noun called samaya means long time, which is the sign of continuity that we often talk about. The so-called a flash of lightning in a summer cloud. In the Diamond Sutra, dew is dewdrop, and we know it for a short time. Dew falls in the morning, and evaporates after the sun comes out. Take this as a metaphor for a long period of time, and a metaphor for continuous phases. The real time, the moment mentioned in Avatamsaka Sutra, the 10 concentrations. Split second is the real time. It is difficult for us to understand the concept of the moment. With the prosperity of modern science, we can experience a little bit more through the observation of scientific instruments. In fact, the moment of instant is the simultaneity of birth and death that is often mentioned in the sutras. Because the time of its birth and death is too short, and it is definitely not something that our 6 sense organs can feel. It takes a long time for our 6 faculties to feel sensations. In other words, it takes a long time respond immediately to a stimulus, although it takes a long time to say immediately. If we talk about the momentary birth and death, we can say that we can't feel it at all. Not only us mortals, beings of the 6 realms, but heavenly people are much smarter and more sensitive than humans. And they can't feel it, even the Shravakas, Pratyeka Buddha, and Bodhisattva, in 10 Dharma realms. The Buddha told us, in the scriptures, that only the Bodhisattvas of stage of the 8th of development can see alaya, and only the deep meditation of stage of the 8th of development can sense the momentary birth and death. The birth and death of a moment is often described by Buddha in the scriptures as neither birth nor death. If there is no birth and death, it is nonsense to say that there is no birth and no death. So what is the point? To say that there is no birth and no death. In fact, it does have birth and death. But as soon as it arises, it ceases. Almost at the same time. So it is called neither birth nor death. This statement makes sense. Birth and death occur at the same time, and the time is extremely short. To be honest, this kind of brevity time is definitely not something that can be detected by the current technology. It has been a long time since the technology can detect it. This is the one time that the Buddha said in the scriptures. This sentence is completely telling the truth, and we must be able to understand it carefully. Once you understand it, you will understand that all dharmas do not arise or die, and you will leave the fear of life and death, and you will know that a star at dawn, a bubble in a stream, false appearances do not arise or die. This is the truth. We cannot see it. Bodhisattvas from stage of the 8th of development up have seen it. One time is here. If it is implemented in terms of facts, it is the time when the opportunity is ripe for Buddha Shakyamuni to preach the scriptures. This is called one moment. This way of saying is also very perfect. All scriptures use this word. And the Buddha said that the cause and condition of this scripture is mature. Our predestined relationship this time is extremely special, and the place where the scriptures are taught is also very rare. The Buddha is in the Trayastrimsa heaven, not in other places. Buddha is the Master's achievement. The person who is the main speaker in this Dharma assembly is Shakyamuni Buddha. The word in is very good, especially when it comes to speaking. Saying in is also telling the truth. We often talk about birth and death at the same time. Use this to describe it. Is very close. Then the material phenomenon we see now. This is a continuum of the phenomenon. Like watching a movie. Screenshot we see. The speed at which this movie is showing now. I've played with this little machine before 16 cm. Small film. I like playing with this thing. 24 negatives per second. It has two speeds. The slow speed is 18 negatives. It changes 24 times in 1 second. Lens switch 24 times. Then the Buddha told us, our present universe. How fast is it? On the Humane King Sutra, said that flick of the finger. 1/60th flick of a finger. Call a moment. There are 900 birth and death in the instant. So in other words, I flick my fingers faster, just play 4 times. 4 by 60 multiplied by 900 just happened to be 2108000. In other words, 216,000 times. Then we play like a movie. Put 216,000 negatives in 1 second. Can you tell it's fake? It becomes an immobile substance. Right. So matter does not exist. What we see is a continuum. We can't see the truth at all. Then the Buddha told us, who can see the truth? In Mahayana, 8 Bodhisattvas. The depth of meditation of the 8th ground Bodhisattva. Deep meditation. So very short birth and death we can see. You mean that, since it is not eternal, there must be birth and death. Yes, birth and death. I think everyone must have seen the movie. I think everyone must have seen the movie. The image is now in front of the eyes. Sometimes I look at laughing. Sometimes I look at crying. No fault of the movie. No fault. It has nothing. Image. That's not real people acting. It's just an image. Why this image just seduce your own emotions? You are turned by it. Then you are so pitiful. It's not at fault. It's your fault. It's just an image, a dream bubble. It's fake, not real. Only one screen is mostly made of white cloth. He is not real. You are deluded by it. You are fooled. You go to think about it, you create karma there. Those who really understand know that this is a dream bubble. You know this picture is fake. Then know the whole world. Everything is fake, nothing is true. What is said in the Diamond Sutra? All appearances are false. Everything with potential is like a dream bubble. So whether you see or hear it, your mind is pure as if you still and spotless. You enter this realm. People who have entered this realm will not create karma. Pure heart and compassion. Then in your view, now the technology is developing rapidly. We believe in scientists represents the highest human wisdom. This supreme wisdom appears to you. What we humans know the truth of the entire universe. How many % has it reached? Not reached. Always at 0. We go no further less than 1%.
Lương thú mình
Can't
không phải
reach.
học Phật,
Why?
không biết được.
Liang Shuming studied
Có
Buddhism.
giảng về lục đạo.
He knew that
Trong lục
Mahayana
đạo
taught
thì
the six
trí tuệ của
realms.
con người không bằng chư thiên.
In the
Chư thiên
six
thông minh hơn
realms,
chúng ta.
the wisdom of
Chư thiên
human
có thần
beings
thông.
is not as
Chư
good as
thiên
that
có
of
lậu
heaven
thông.
angels.
Chỉ không có lậu tận thông.
They are
Còn các thứ
smarter
khác
than
đều
us.
họ có thể bay được
Heaven
và có
angels
phép
have
tiến hóa.
supernatural
Họ có thể
powers.
phân thân
They have 5
năng
powers.
lực mạnh hơn
There is
chúng ta.
nothing else
Cái
they
trí
can
huệ mà
fly
nhà
and
Phật
change.
nói về
They
thiền
can
định.
double much more
Các nhà khoa
capable
học
than
chỉ
us.
có sức định.
The wisdom that Buddhism taught about meditation.
Định sanh huệ.
Scientists
Huệ
don't
mới
have
có thể giải quyết
meditation
được vấn đề.
ability. Meditation
Huệ giải
generates the
quyết vấn đề
wisdom.
là tự nhiên.
Wisdom solves problems
bản
naturally.
Cho nên Phật
It is
giảng
instinct.
hết thảy chúng sanh đều có đức tướng
So the
trí
Buddha
huệ của Như
said,
Lai.
All sentient beings have
Là
the
bản
wisdom
thân
and
không
virtue
cần
of
phải
the
học, mà chỉ
Tathagata.
cần loại bỏ chướng ngại
It's
của bạn.
instinct that
Người
doesn't
thời
need
nay
to be
bồng bột
learned.
sốc nổi,
You just remove
nên đã
your
hoàn
obstacles
toàn làm
now.
chướng ngại mất
People
đi
these
bản năng.
days
Cho
are
nên các nhà khoa học
impulsive,
họ
so
không
they
bỏ được vòng
completely
vốn,
obstruct
không bỏ
their
được phân biệt,
instincts.
không bỏ được
So
chấp trước.
scientists
Như vậy
did
nói
not
theo cách
leave
khác
the
thì lưỡi
delusion,
chân tướng của vũ
did
trụ
not leave
họ không có cách
distinction,
nào để
did
hiểu
not
rõ.
leave attachment.
Như vậy
So in
nếu
other
như một
words,
số giáo
the
viên
truth
hoặc học
about
sinh
the
xin sư
universe
phụ
you
chỉ dạy
can't
cái vấn đề này mà
understand.
nói